right away, but it'll come to you. And it can be like an inanimate object. Like it could even be a color. What message are you trying to deliver to me? It's really, really interesting. It could come in the form of like what happened to you on here, where there were noises. Sometimes just when you had a thought, one of your ears will start ringing to get your attention to something. Someone will say something to you, or you come across a certain video on TikTok, and it just makes you stop, and you had to watch it, and you were supposed to hear something on it. That's why I tell people for my podcast, they'll go, God, which episode do I start on? You have like 700 and something episodes. I always say scroll through and start on an episode that catches your eye, that you lean into. There's a message for you in there, and trust that on any given day. That's what I always tell people. Even maybe you have a book on your bookshelf. This is a fucked up one. This would be a good video for me to do. This is something I do when I kind of feel like there's a constipation between the dialogue between me and higher source. And I go up to like my bookshelf or where I have a stack of books, and I look at which book I'm drawn to, no matter what it is. It could be the Bible, no matter what it is. It could be like a business book, whatever. And pick it up, and I close my eyes, and I let source pick the page, and I open and read what's on the page. And there's always something I was supposed to see, and it is wild. And it's either one word, it could be a sentence, it could be the whole damn thing.
And okay. When you're in this body, the radiant energy and all of the knowledge that you learn never comes from you. It always comes from above. All truth is just truth. There is no truth that manifests or originates in ourselves. I never forgot when I was listening to David Icke or somebody, and he was all mad that other people were teaching what he had been teaching, and he's like, that came from me. And now everyone else is teaching what I originated, what came from me. And I was so mad that he said that, because this art doesn't come from me. My music that I write for y'all doesn't come from me. Nothing comes from me. All truth, all reality comes from this camera, this flashlight, this false sun, this from above. It's called the divine radiance that enters into Kether. All of it comes from above. The language that you learn didn't come from you. Are you going to get a copyright strike because you're speaking the English language? After all, you didn't write it. You didn't make it up. Are you going to get in trouble for wearing a piece of jewelry that someone else made? Like this idea that all information, we're these creative beings and we came up with that information, that all information comes from above. So we learned that. And so transparency of thought is learning that all thoughts, all things come from the divine. And when you're ready to speak the voice of the divine, when you're ready to do the will of the divine, when you step into the Christ child and you're illuminated from the inside, You are born from above. And this means that the matrix that has a false light and false plasma sheets of paper creating the matrix or reality will no longer influence you. And you will disconnect completely from this matrix and enter into the body of your third electron immortal solar light body and go up this Jacob's ladder into something there. It's like you're getting prepared for it. So let me read it to you. I know my voice is like me as a girl, but Tower of Alchemy was written by a man. Maybe you'll be like, oh, now I hear you, because that comes from a man. Yeah, I know, right? So your solar light body is being activated, and you're going to be taken off the matrix, where you'll be speaking and doing, and you're the wizard who anoints, and you have to step into the Christ self, leaving these two and going into that Christed self. It's called the solar drop and your solar light body. The solar body is on page 8, page 205, page 234. The deathless body is 200, and then the heart center is 85. I would say that you are at 200, probably the deathless body. The deathless body is represented by two images, and these two images vary. But the new body is the boat or the ship or the bark or the chariot. And it basically is the flame of the Magi from within. And so it's your solar body. And the solar body is the manifestation of the luminous garment of God. It's the spark or the point of eternal light that activates every atom within your body on all levels. Modern science, by the use of mechanical and electrical laws, has brought humanity into a position where it has indeed joined the ranks of the forces behind evolution. But this is only half of what may yet be done. For those who become the master of alchemy, and as the art grows within you, you will find yourself becoming a channel for hidden powers and creative energies of the universe. This means that you will directly perceive and work with living forces, dispensing within the material, mechanical, and electrical aid, governing the ethereal energies of the planet, meaning that you will become part of the royal ones who influence the power of myth and influence others with your Christed energy. So here within the action of certain processes within your personal life, Melissa, you are going to transform the material realm around you. What does this mean? You're going to become a master of the net. You're going to become the number 10, net spelled backwards. You're going to become an alchemist who basically has the power to influence the material world. Why? Because the false sun that shines down and creates this current world is under the dominion of the Christ that shines its inner light and influences the world. It's above it. It's wisdom. It's your Magi self. So you're going to be transforming the material world, and this change will not be affected in the crucible and the retort of the material scientist, but the raw material of the soul. So the etheric shapes of all past forms lie latent in the astral light of the universe. This astral light, it was inseparably connected. So the astral light is the celestial dragon and the fiery power within your physical body. It's the universal medicine, and your physical body reforms into its eternal inner light. Now, when you get into the elixir of you being an alchemical sage, You get into the male and female aspect. This is the Adam and the Eve, the king and the queen. So when you see a king and a queen, this represents that the king and the queen have joined perfectly, and the Christ child is ready to activate. It means you need to step into your power more, speak the voice of the divine more, because you're being illuminated with your Magi master self up here. So this resurrection body is the body of clear light, spoken of in Eastern esoteric schools. It's a place of plenitude. It's a place where you will not, you will be freed from the need to birth and die on the wheel of birth and death. You will not get on that wheel again. So when you get into this space, you are in the nothing, the transparency of thought. But also it's that you are stepping into the heart center, which is the solar drop. And so you will step into a collective conscious group of people. And let's see here. So you're going to be going into this is called Upper Eden. You'll be known as a neophyte. So as we develop relationships with companions within the inner worlds, you're given points of meeting these companions. Whether you are meeting them in a sleep or a trance or through meditation, you will unite and come together with these beings who are connected to the Great White Lodge. They're called the Great White Council, and they're not white in skin color, they're white plasma. That's why these bearded men are white bearded men. They aren't men. Remember, Saturn emits a plasma, a white plasma that looks like a white bearded man. And the Saturn center represents the bringer of eternal spring and Aquarius, where you don't die. It's your deathless body. So when you see these bearded men, they're not white men, first of all, and they don't have white hair. They represent companions, and the Great White Lodge, the College of the Holy Spirit, is white plasma. The fifth state of matter, bioplasma. So, the Great White Council, they are called the Eternal Ones. They are the government of the world. But remember, indwelling within each of you is the spark of the divine, which makes you, in your own self, a child of the eternal, and you are united to these great ones. That's why the child of the eternal, their consciousness is directly connected to the Great White Lodge at the top here. So, what is it telling you also? This invisible lodge is a temple built without hands. Now, what is reality made out of, pray tell? Electrons and plasma. Electrons live forever, plasma is white. So, now you're going to go to a place where they call themselves all one and all in one, the great ones, the lords of compassion, your potential, and the philosopher's stone, the pearl of attainment, which is white. And so, the crown of life I give unto thee. And this is Vajrayana, the female Buddha, the sons and daughters of the Buddha, the peaceful aspects, you maintaining 0 point energy, let go and let God, and basically surrender to the flow of the force. And there's a practice, a meditation practice that you should practice, since you are quite literally on page 200 to page 205 spiritually in the Tower of Alchemy. So it says there are 4 princes of this heaven. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 princes of heaven are exteriorizing a castle and envisioning these 4 princes of heaven. So you're in the bridal hall of Malkuth, and you'll see a stairway going up, and you go up the stairway and blah blah. It goes into all kinds of I have not read this one on my Patreon yet. I have not read this one yet as a meditation. Right now we are at the Holy Grail meditation, because I'm taking it very slow, because if y'all don't have this book, it's very complicated, and I'm trying to do it as plainly and and give you guys like a side note to help us understand, what are we going through here? We're shifting worlds. We're shifting consciousness from a matrix system of an eye of Ra beaming down upon us, a false reality, and we're leaving and we're going into the body of the Christ child, and we're going to be illuminated from inside out. And look, it makes a spiral. This is the crystal spiral. Why? Because we made it to 144. When you get to 144 on here, bam. Look, guys, you should be excited about this. If you're not, I'll have Grumpy Bear talk to you. 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89, 144. Once you get to 144, you get into 8 technology. 8 into 144 is 16, which is 8 and 8. This new world is dominated by the crystal numbers, and the crystal spiral is dominated by the number 8. So, once you get to 144, you're going to step onto the Christ. What is Christ? Christos. What is Christos? Crystal. What is crystal? The crystal grid. It spirals in a different way. Ah! Look, you guys, we're leaving the matrix. You're going to become illuminated from the inside out. This matrix was created because we were not illuminated from the inside out. We needed outside light getting in. When the outside light shined upon our dualistic self here, we began to learn and grow, learn and grow, learn and grow, abide and hear and see and blah, blah. And then it was a process that made us grow up the spiral. And y'all are like, that's not real. When you leave the last gate of the underworld of Osiris, you enter into 34. 34 is the 1, and the name 1 adds up to 34. Now, Neo spells 1, N-E-O, O-N-E, which adds up to 34. Neo was the one who needed to follow the white rabbit. Really, this treble clef looks like a white rabbit. And the Fibonacci sequence is called the White Rabbit on Wikipedia. So if you're the one Neo ready to get out of the freaking matrix of the underworld of Osiris, then you'll know this is true, because OS in Osiris comes to 34. Iris comes to 55. Now you have Oz and Iris. The name Osiris adds up to 89. Well, well, well. Looks like you resurrected Isis and Osiris together, united. And the Christ child, or Horus, has been resurrected, because 89 comes to 17 and Horus comes to 71, the inversion. Both of them add up to the number 8. So if you have resurrected Oz, 34, Iris, 55, Osiris, 89, then you are in 89, and you have birthed or resurrected Horus, which is the number 8, and you're ready to go into 144, which 144, 8 into 144 is 16, which is 8 and 8. You're no longer on 7 and 7, the 14 pieces of Osiris's body, 7 chakras, 7 continents, 7 seas, 7 days in a week, 365 days a year equals 14, which is 7 and 7. 7 wounds of Christ, 7 spirits of God, 7 musical notes, 7 metals. No, now you're on 8, which is Christ creased crystal grid. So when you get through here, you're going to be out of the water completely, which is the matrix. Now you're going to go up here. Crystal spiral. And it's a musical note. It's harmonics. It's the entire world. Why did Dorothy begin walking this spiral? And then Emerald City being up here. Listen, we're going to see as we once did. And it's a wonderful story of salvation and redemption. That which was the deceiver who put us in this spiral is that which also saves you. So, yes, why were we put in the matrix? Because you're a bitten apple. What's a bitten apple? Well, it all depends. Some of us are bitten apples because our divine birth was cut like a miscarriage. Why do you think Jesus didn't have an earthly father? Why do you think Harry Potter, no mother, no father? Dorothy Gale, no mother, no father. They both lived with their aunts and uncles. Cinderella, no mother, no father. Fiona, in a tower, no mother, no father. Tangled, in a tower, no mother, no father. Little orphan Annie. Labyrinth, she had a stepmother. Never-ending Story, he had no mother. What is this? Luke Skywalker, no mother, no father, or your father's a robot. Matrix, what is this? It means you're a bitten apple, and you were sent to this system to grow your 2 rings of power, which is your apple, into 3 rings, so that your inner illumination and your inner light is no longer dependent on the false light. Now, this can be a trap, but it could also be the very thing that saves you. So it was created where Jesus said, turn over a stone and there I am, cut a piece of wood and there I am. I laid the foundation for you. Christos consciousness was created so that you can follow his spiral way like Osiris.